Jails Movie Life, episode 81. This week I'm reviewing Non-Stop, the latest Liam Neeson, old man kicking ass and taking names, saving the world action movie. Now it's become a yearly tradition since 2008 when Taken came out for Liam Neeson to release like a kick-ass, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to kick your ass kind of action movie. And this one's pretty good. I'd say I really love Taken. Taken is sort of an instant modern action classic because the expectations were so low, but it proved that if you do something simply but execute it great, people will like it. And I really liked The Gray, which came out a couple of years ago, but it's not as good as either of those, but it's definitely better than Taken 2 and that other one where he loses his memory that came out right after Taken that kind of sucked. It's right in the middle. And it's weird that Liam Neeson's renaissance has come right after his wife died. Taken came out, Taken 1. And I feel like maybe he made a deal with the devil, like you can take my wife and I'll just pull tons of young puss and become an action star. Or maybe not, maybe it's just a tragedy and that joke was in completely poor taste. And I apologize, Mr. Neeson, who was a big watcher of this show. But the movie, if you haven't seen the previews, the movie is Liam Neeson plays an air marshal with a lot of personal problems. Kind of cliche, but it's actually pretty solidly done, like why he's kind of a loner and a troubled person. And what I love is he's an air marshal who hates flying. Because I've always had this idea of making writing a sitcom or a movie about a flight attendant who hates flying, because can you imagine a shittier life? Like, if you hate your job, imagine having to go to a job where you feared for your life every day and didn't like it. And somebody on the plane taps into his secure network, his little air marshal sidekick or whatever he is. And I was like, I thought, you know, only Puerto Rican teens in the early 2000s used those. But yeah, he's getting messages that somebody on the plane is going to kill a passenger every 20 minutes if he doesn't have money wired. The movie actually, for about the first 80 minutes, is really good. And I'll tell you this right now, I didn't guess the ending correctly, which I was happy about, because for the whole movie I had a real idea of what the ending was going to be and I was wrong. That said, I wasn't super happy with the ending, and it's full of kind of cliches towards the end, but you get your money's worth. If you see this for a matinee, you will enjoy this. It's a lot of action. It's not too easy to guess the plot. The only thing I'd complain about is on this plane, once the passengers realize that there's like sort of a terrorist issue on the plane, and as that escalates, not nearly enough people pissing and shitting themselves and vomiting, because when I hit too much turbulence on a plane, I do all three of those things. So can you imagine if I found out there was a terrorist plot or poison on the plane or something? I'd lose it. They'd have to tie me down like Steve Buscemi in Con Air. So other than that, everybody's a little too reasonable and calm for the magnitude of the issue. But it's a fun, well-done action movie. Liam Neeson, once again, is just a quality. He's kind of taken that Sean Connery, like, action sex appeal old guy role that Sean Connery used to have, and he's great in this. There's humor that's fairly well placed. It doesn't seem out of place. It's other than the ending, and I don't mean the ending like the plot ending, but there were a couple of cheesy kind of 80s action movie things, like, you know, 15 minutes after a disaster, people are kind of like winking and flirting. Yes, I'm sorry to ruin it, but yes, there is a sort of happy ending at the end of the movie, but you don't know how it's going to get there, so I'm not spoiling the plot twist. I would give this movie, I was going to give it a B, but I'd say B plus now that I'm thinking about it, because I really did enjoy it for the most part. It could have been higher if I just kind of liked the way it ended a little better. But it's solid for what it is. You're getting your money's worth. I'd say see a matinee of this. I don't know if you're in Manhattan like I am. I don't know that it's worth the $14.50 for a ticket, but barely any movie is. But catch a matinee of this. You'll enjoy it. Just don't be one of those assholes who posts on Twitter and Facebook, it's not as good as Taken. Yes, of course it's not. Taken is kind of the new, you know, it's like the Die Hard for old people of the last decade. But it's good. So see it, don't see it, but I recommend it. So enjoy Non-Stop. That's it. Next week I'll review something. Bye.
Wanna get the feeling, gotta get the feeling.